Welcome to Night 2 of the College League of Legends season here at NIU. My name is Connor Vagel, and I'm going to be bringing you through all the action of tonight's match between NIU Esports and the Western Michigan University Broncos in this College League of Legends match. It's going to be a good one for you folks. This is probably a little bit of a closer matchup than what we saw on Saturday, as unfortunately NIU did fall 2-0 to the Northeastern Huskies. But as we mentioned quite a bit, my broadcast partner and I, broadcast partner was Tim Schrammick. He's not going to be able to make it tonight, but we will have him back on the cast for Saturday. So I'm going to be piloting this one solo. So hope to keep you guys entertained throughout the night and the broadcast. But like I said, as we were mentioning quite a few times last week during that broadcast, it was a very it was not a bad thing that NIU, took a loss against a Northeastern team that is one of the strongest in the conference and overall a very, very, very strong League of Legends team. It does look like, as we get ready to jump on in a champ select for game number 1, it does look like the side of Western Michigan has gone on to the blue side. So NIU will be starting on the red side for tonight's matchup. In addition, we will be seeing this one will have IXI shot, IXI. So Logan's going to be up in the top lane for the side of NIU. So let's go ahead and run through the lineups on the side of each of these programs. Like I said, much more evenly matched. Very good chance. NIU has a nice chance at a victory here tonight, potentially getting on the board into that dub column for the first time this season. So on the blue side, we're going to see Western Michigan start us off. They're going to start it off with Meki in the top lane. He's going to be their Diamond 3 top laner. We're going to see Akalix Frost in the jungle. Then Floge, their Platinum 2 and Platinum 3, respectively. Floge is going to be that mid laner. Kylon's going to be the ADC, as we already are into Champ Select. So let's go ahead and get that as we go. He was the Plat 4 player there, and then Black Sheep 1 is going to be in the support role. On the side of NIU, same lineup as we saw on Saturday, with the addition of IXI Shot, who played game 1 in the top lane there for NIU. Let's go ahead and see this one out. So we are going to see the first ban's going to be the Rumble here, taking that away from the top lane. And NIU going to go towards a very standard pick here, or sorry, a very standard ban here with the Varus. Something that we've seen quite a bit of priority on in organized play over the last few months, especially after some of those arrows that landed during the World Championship Finals earlier last year, where we saw some really awesome Baron steals with those arrows. But not going to be seeing those today, as it has been banned, and Rise now going to be banned away by the side of Western Michigan. And Rise, again, one of those strong picks. We did see the side of NIU go towards that one a little bit here on Saturday. We're going to see the Viego taken off the board, though. Don't want to see the sad boy jungler here coming out from either of these teams. And so NIU is going to ban it away. It's going to be followed up by a Seraphine for Western Michigan. Another very standard pick, a little more of an enchanter. Can go towards the mid lane, can go towards the support role. Either of those is very viable for the Seraphine. So definitely some very standard bans coming off the board here by the sides of both NIU and Western Michigan here. And Soraka going to finish us off in the ban. So another enchanter. Definitely the meta here is ranged enchanters and or ranged supports in general. So we'll have to see exactly where each of these sides want to go. This is, just like earlier in the week, we are playing on the 13.1b patch. And there it is, the Cassante. Something that we had noticed that Meki may be looking to prioritize. So we'll have to see where Shot wants to go towards this one, where IXI Shot wants to go here, as something that we've seen very commonly picked into that Cassante is the Handshake of the Jax, and that's going to be what's being hovered here. Definitely a more of a lane pick in the Cassante and more of a late game scaling pick with the Jax. And with 1 second left, it does look like that is going to be what gets locked in here for the side of NIU. So they will elect into that very common matchup that we've been seeing. Cassante definitely a skill champion, tank, a little bit of everything in there. So A little bit excited to see how that one plays out, but Jack's definitely somebody that can play into that champion. Now, we're going to see from NIU a hover of the Sejuani here, something that's very tanky. It's got some ability power, and it is going to be locked in for the side of NIU, so they're definitely drafting towards a little more of that team fight. We did see that on Saturday, so we'll have to see if that is the direction they continue to head with this draft. But so far, that's kind of what we've seen with the ability to kind of team up and later on as the game scales in, potentially pick that one up on the side of NIU. So we'll have to see exactly where they want to go with the rest of this. Maokai typically been the answer to Sejuani, and we are going to see that handshake across by the side of Western Michigan. Now, Karma is something interesting. This could be flexed a couple of different directions. Not sure if that is, yeah, it is going to be locked in. So definitely, definitely something interesting to put on the board there. We'll have to see exactly what Western Michigan is cooking up with this Karma, as that could technically go towards the mid lane. Could be a support with the Enchanter, positioning that it goes for, and then likely not going to be the top lane since Cassante is already there. But you know, it is something that could be theoretically triple flexed. And NIU going to go for something a little different. They're going to go for a Twisted Fate here. So another, you know, very standard old school mid lane mage. Something kind of like that Rise, kind of like the Victor that we saw them play on Saturday. But we'll have to see where they want to go with this Twisted Fate, as that is definitely, you know, a little bit more auto attack based, a little bit different, and could bring in some cool power to this game. Now we do see as well, it's going to be the Lysandra banned away from NIU, or by NIU, I should say. And Lysandra definitely going to be that control mage that you think might go with a couple of tanks and Enchanter here for the side of Western Michigan. Keep in mind, they do need to pick an ADC, as does NIU. And then NIU likely looking for the support here, whereas very likely we're seeing on the side of Western Michigan the AD and mid laner still needing to be picked. Zeri going to be taken off the board. That is definitely a high priority ADC. We've seen NIU play it already, and it won't be available here. But Vex going to be banned away by NIU. It'll be their final ban of this game number 1. And definitely something interesting with that one, as you definitely, again, have some control mages that are being taken off the board here by NIU. So they're definitely targeting Floge here. They expect that he's probably not piloting this Karma, that he'll be more than likely going towards a control mage here. And Jin going to be taken off the board again. NIU immediately will answer now that 2 ADCs were banned away by the side of Western Michigan. They'll look to get the priority here, since there are, you know, they're going to have to both pick an ADC, so NIU wants to get the higher priority. They'll go with the Jinx. Pretty standard pick in this type of composition. Again, a team fight. Just get Jinx to be hyper carry and then let her wail away at the competition. Tristana, definitely going to be something that can answer that with the extended range that comes from having the levels on the champion. You know, as the champion gains levels, it does start with a short attack range, but eventually gains one of the longest in the game. And there you go. There are some of those more burst or control mages. We've seen a Cassiopeia hovered and Ari. Now we're going to see Malzahar. Is that the direction they want to go? Now, Talia would be, again, more of a bursty mage with the changes, but does have elements of control to her. So we'll have to see if that's what they lock in, and indeed it is. Now, NIU could will look to go for the support here. They are going to immediately lock the Lulu, so that was a pretty quick decision. They knew what they wanted to go for there, especially with this Jinx. And you know, with that in mind, that's always something that you can instill some confidence in the team when you have that quick lock and you know exactly where you want to go with things, and it all lines up in your favor. So, with 40 seconds left, feel free to throw in the chat who you guys think is going to win this matchup. We've got the side of Western Michigan on the left there, on the blue side, and NIU going to be taking the red side here for game number 1. And looking on down the lineups, we do see, you know, a little bit more of the tanky builds, or the tanky champs here on either side. Actually, we're seeing pretty similar comps, actually, with more of the tanks in the jungle. We're going to see in the top lane more of those bruiser fighters and the tanky bruiser fighters. But then in the mid lanes, you see the burst mage on the side of Western Michigan. NIU is going to differentiate from that just a little bit and have more of a standard, control mage. And then the ADCs are both very, very standard 80 carries, and then 2 enchanters in the support role. So this is very much a standard old draft, very much a season, season, I believe it was 8, 7, somewhere in that range. But definitely going to be an interesting matchup as we go. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left until we are into game number 1. Keep in mind that we are playing with a 5-minute delay on the stream. You guys will be seeing this 2 minutes after we say anything, and then on top of that, we do have this 3 minutes that the game already builds in for delay. So this is just to keep competitive integrity available and everything. So we want to keep that up to the bar as best as possible. Looking forward, we're just getting into the swing of things here for the NIU esports spring season in esports collegiate. We just saw last night, I want to shout out the NIU esports Overwatch team moving a 2-0 on the season with a really nice win over the competition in I believe it was Bowling Green they played last night, and really nice win, able to move to 2-0 with a 3-1 victory in that contest. So we'll have to see exactly how that season plays out, but there's definitely an air of confidence among the teams, so we're really excited about that one. Also want to sorry, looking at the chat there and seeing some Twisted Fate love in the chat. But anyway, on top of that, we also have every Wednesday and Saturday, for the most part, we're going to be seeing some League of Legends action here on the channel as well. So be sure to stay tuned for that. It's going to be 7 o'clock on Wednesdays, and it's going to be at 2 o'clock Central Time on Saturdays. We'll have to get you an update on who we're going to be playing on Saturday, but we do have a game, that we are looking at right now as NIU looking to get in the dub column and make the and move their record to 1-1, drop Western Michigan's record to 1-1 as well. Keep in mind that in the Esports Collegiate Conference, while we have moved to a top 8 playoff format in most game titles, League of Legends is still at a top 6 as far as the rulebook has shown. That is subject to change, if we see something different happen. But so far, what we have seen is that there will be a 16 playoff. So NIU would have to get into that top 6 to make it. I think they definitely are looking to get that road started today with a potential victory over Western Michigan. So just hold on for 2 more seconds. We're going to be getting into game very, very shortly. So we're super excited to start off this second match of the season. And we should be ready to do so in just a minute. Take this last second and just double check who you predicted in the chat for today's game, and we'll have to see. I'd imagine it's going to be mostly NIU fans, considering that this is the NIU channel. But yes, we are ready, and there we go. We're going to go ahead and jump on in to game number 1 here. And across the board, we're going to see very, very standard summoner spells. Now, one thing that is not standard about this is looking at the side of the Tristana. We're seeing a cleanse there, but no heal on the Karma. So that is something that's going to be we'll have to check out how that one goes through, as we do have the exhaust still on the Karma. She does have some elements of healing, but for an enchanter, definitely not the heaviest heals available in that kit. So going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. We also see a little bit of a difference in gameplay from what we saw in the matchup on Saturday between this Maokai Sejuani matchup that NIU elected to play into, both that game and this one. As if you take a look, we see on the Maokai a Scorched Claw Pup instead of the that's going to be the Moss Stopper Seedling. So let's check out what this one does. So Scorched Claw, my apologies, Pup, is going to periodically imbue your next damaging effect to slow and damage enemy champions. Interesting. Now that's going to be an interesting one. Definitely can make sense with the Maokai kit, but not as much of the tankiness as you see with the one that the Moss Stomper that Zanakin has elected to go for. NIU looking to take a little bit more of a hard leash there for the for their bot lane towards the Sejuani. So as you see, Sejuani already starting with a little bit of a lead here in that jungle, but it does mean that the side of Western Michigan is able to farm out the first wave here just a little bit better than NIU has. Now that's a nice trade coming in from Meki, but NIU going to look to potentially trade this one back, and we'll see how that goes. Jack's able to use the Counter-Strike there, just doing enough to make sure that Meki didn't want to engage with him here. Now he does have the third Q available, so we'll have to see. A couple of shots go on towards B Chillin', but nothing too out of the ordinary here. NIU's bot lane getting pushed in just a little bit, but you know that's pretty standard with a Karma who's able to poke you out compared to the Lulu, who's a little more of a standard enchanter, has a little more of the focus on healing up the teammate. Now that's a nice stun with the Counter-Strike, but is going to be traded right back by Meki, so in the end doesn't really do a whole lot for either team here. Going to be a very standard top-to-bottom clear for the side of Western Michigan and a Calyx Frost, whereas on the side of Zanakin he's going to be going from bottom to top, and full clears from both of these junglers. We're going to have to see Cassante be a little bit careful here, as it does look like IXI shot does go for a bit of a bait there, but with Sejuani there, the Cassante does do a good job of just backing off here and making sure that that the gank doesn't really matter. That it was not warded, so it was just an intuitive play from the side of Cassante. Whereas NIU does have a nice set of wards here in the jungle, so we'll see if they're able to get a double scuttle. Looked like Maokai might have gone towards a bot lane gank, but did indeed just kind of back off and go for the scuttle. So we may have a fight over the bot lane scuttle crab here, as Meki decides he wants to fight for a potential kill here. Doesn't end up getting it. Now Calyx Frost is able to drop down the smite, grab that scuttle crab. Was pretty close. I think there wasn't a smite available on Zanakin, but I think if the Lulu roam had been just a little bit earlier, we might have seen, you know, a fight break out over that one. Now that's a nice Counter-Strike and the trade with the W there from the side of IXI shot. Able to grab a nice little bit of damage on towards Meki here on that Jax. But do keep in mind that he is down about a level here, so he has to be pretty respectful of the potential for a fight. Now, yellow card available for the B Chillin', and does just get out of there. It does Meki a little bit out of range of the jump strike there for the Jax. So does mean that it is just a roam, not really going to get a whole lot out of it, but doesn't really lose a whole lot either, does be chillin' on this Twisted Fate. Meki not quite getting their level 6 quite yet, but IXI Shot does have 5 right now, so a little bit back to even. Although Western Michigan, if you notice, is starting up that first Drake. It is the Ocean Drake that they're starting here, and NIU does decide that they want to contest this. They're going to see if they can get in there. It is getting dangerously low for the side of NIU. A dash forward would get this, but it does end up being just the scouting of the Drake take. NIU elects to not take anything more out of that one and does just back away. So Western Michigan will secure Drake number 1 for their team. Ocean, definitely a good one when you have these tanky members in the top lane and the mid lane, so definitely not something that NIU wants to have to fight through. But now a potential gank going on towards the mid lane. Be chillin', gonna get slowed up by this by that sapling, or sapling I should say. But did have yellow card available, so does mean that he'll just go ahead and back away from this one. Now Floj could be getting baited in here. That's a nice yellow card onto the stun, but Zanakin not going to be able to cancel that recall in time. So it does mean that NIU does elect to just back away, reset, and get the items on towards Zanakin. I think it's probably a wise decision, as going in on that one may have been a bit of an overcommitment from the Huskies here. looking across the board, bot lane definitely seeing the CS lead go in favor of Western Michigan. So NIU gonna have to see if they can't get a little bit back here, and they have been just getting shoved in pretty heavily here. Top lane, not super out of the favor of the Jacks, but does have a little bit of a farm disadvantage here. So we'll have to see if he's able to make that one up. Now that's a nice counter strike, able to get the W down as well, but nicely traded back by Meki. And in the extended fight would go towards the Cassante here. So Jackson IXI shot is going to have to back away for this one. Also noting the items that Jax and Cassante have been able to finish. You see a full Bammy Cinder on the side of the Cassante, and you only see the Sheen for the Jax. So Sheen, definitely a powerful item in the hands of a Jax, but not quite as powerful as the Bammy Cinder is on these tanks. So we'll have to see if NIU is able to find anything out of this one. Now traded back. So that's really how this Jax matchup goes. And there's the L card. Flash going to be having to use, and there's actually going to be the answered flash from Zanakin. Is it going to be enough damage? Floj is going to be taken very low, but with the Karma there, is he going to be kept alive? All out goes Cassante in this fight on the top lane. Nice flash going away, but it does mean First Blood goes over to Cassante, but NIU going to continue to follow that one. Realm Orb is going to, or sorry, that was actually Destiny, going to be used by B Chillin, and he's going to be able to grab the kill on towards the mid laner there, Floj, from the side of Western Michigan. So across the map, it is a 1-for-1, but NIU going to have to find a way out of this one as Buff Pillsbury Boy is there. Now that's nice flash coming through from the Maokai, not able to secure the kill, but will be finished off by the Tristana here, and so it will be a 2-for-1 in favor of Western Michigan. Definitely having to use a lot of cooldowns there. Actually, just the flash used by the by both Tristana. Sorry, that would be the Talia as well as the Maokai. NIU having to expend a flash as well across the map there too. So overall, does go in favor of the side of Western Michigan just a little bit. They are building up a nice little farm, or sorry, gold lead for themselves. They are going to be spotted on vision as they try to start up this Rift Herald. They do rotate both the support and the top laner towards this one. Doesn't look like anybody from NIU is there to contest this, so it will be just the free Rift Herald going over towards the side of Western Michigan, which will allow them to balloon out this gold lead just a little bit more as well. Looks like Meki is going to find that this control ward is in the tri-bush there, so we'll just clear that one out and then back away from it. But NIU knowing they have a little bit of vision. Now, this could potentially be a dive here as they're able to get one of the turret plates. Zanakin is spotted in vision here, though, so it will be just the side of NIU. NIU does look like they want to ping in this dive, so they're trying to clear this way very quickly. Maokai is here, but we'll see if they're able to get this. Now, teleport does come through. The Buster shot also. Buff Pillsbury Boy taken very low, and actually NIU almost had that one turned around on them. But with the flash forward comes through from B Chillin, and NIU finding a really nice play, able to grab that one. Really nicely done, using the Destiny and then the flash from the side of the Twisted Fate. Able to make sure that, actually, didn't look like the Destiny was used. It is just the full team roam. And a really nice team play, actually. Able to make sure that they rotate and get a second kill on towards this Twisted Fate piloted by B Chillin. Always a great position to be in to have the Twisted Fate up big this early in the contest. Right here, you see the power of the Cassante into the Jax, even with the... oh, that's a nice flash forward. All Out does go through. Now he's going to be able to grab that one. Really nicely done. And unfortunate... Oh, there's a bit of BM from the side of Meki with the emote. The little sad Zoe saying goodbye. But really nicely done by Meki. Able to dive forward on that one. It will mean that NIU will not be able to contest this one. They had to roam up and try to help out IXI shot on the Jax here. Didn't end up getting there in time, so it does mean that the Chemcheck Drake does go over towards Western Michigan, and they are already quickly onto their second Drake. Now, Calyx Frost is going to be found here. Nice ult by the side of the Maokai. Able to grab one, and wow, that's going to be a very quick burst down. we'll see if X Reloaded is able to get out of this one. That's a nice stun, and the damage does come through, but nice flash. Now they'll see if they're able to drop aggro, as actually nicely done with the Super Mega Death Rocket. It actually is not even going to be the turret falling here for the side of NIU, and able to trade one back. So a really, really nice play by X Reloaded, able to outplay there, and we've seen that now twice in this early on in this season, where NIU has gotten dove in the bot lane and then has been able to turn it around and just actually you know, turn around these dives and find something out of it in the end. It is just a 1-for-1 there. The extra kill does come from that top lane play from the side of Western Michigan. Now, IXI shot going to be taken a little low, but this is exactly what we're talking about, where it will scale pretty heavily in the Jax's favor towards the end of the game, as long as he's able to stay pretty well even. Farm, definitely in the side of Casante's favor right now. Pretty much that's universal across the board in favor of Western Michigan, but we do see that NIU does have some avenues to keep these guys in contention here. Now, Calyx Frost is going to be sitting on a ward here, so he does not know that. And Xanakin is positioning pretty aggressively, as well as B-Chill. And so we could see a full fight here, as there's going to be the wild card used as well. This is going to be the damage going through. Xanakin able to grab one on towards the jungler here. A Calyx Frost just staying a little too long and sitting on that ward. NIU able to set up the trap play and really find a nice play there. It is going to be the swap of lanes, and nicely done. That's going to be the Destiny used on in towards the Talia, and Super Mega Death Rocket does come down, and actually it's going to be the Zap that ends up grabbing the kill. NIU with a really nice team play. They're going to have to try to hold some of these turrets here, as they do lose their top lane tier 1 as well, but across the map they are finding some decent plays in early on in this contest. The Casante is definitely going to be something that they have to worry about, as he has gotten pretty heavily tanky at this point. Definitely at level 11, a little bit on the levels ahead here. So we'll have to see what NIU does to shut down the character. Does have the completed Sunfire Cape as well. Looking across, we do see the completed Mythic on 4 members of the the Western Michigan side. NIU has just finished one, but it is that very important Hextech Proto Belt for the side of the Twisted Fate. Now, this is going to be Counter-Strike, and well done to push him out of turret by Meki, but is able to turn this one back around. Now, this is going to be the all-out. Flash is going to have to be expelled here by Jax. He is able to get out of this one, but now we'll see if he's able to bait in with the additional resistance. Is nicely done to get the stun, and the yellow card comes out, so that is going to be the kill going over towards the Twisted Fate. We'll see if Xanakin's able to get out of this one. The Brambles do follow up and do find that one, and unfortunately for NIU, the kill is going to go over towards the side of the Talia, but they do find one on the cross map, and so we'll see how they're able to continue to play this, as Dragon is going to be spawning in just about 58 seconds here. It is going to be the Mountain Soul for either team. NIU definitely wants to grab this one. They don't want to force themselves to have to contest every Drake at Drake Point. And now that is going to be the stolen blue buff here by Calyx Frost. We'll have to see if NIU is able to make their way on in towards this Drake pit. Yeah, we definitely want to encourage, you know, positive talk in the chat here. Definitely not nothing toxic here. You know, this is a program that we want to be a positive space for everybody. So, you know, we want to keep the chat very positive here. And now we're going to see a fight breaking out. Buff Pillsbury Boy is able to dive over the wall with the flash. It likely will mean that the health bars are so low for the side of NIU that I don't think they're going to be able to contest this Drake. But we do see that the side of Western Michigan is going to be starting this one up here, and they do find themselves getting almost halfway through this. NIU, I don't think, has an avenue to contest it. Does look like they'll potentially throw in the Super Mega Death Rocket, and just going to be blocked by Black Sheep. I think that that may have been a little bit early. It's really hard to time that one, especially without any vision in the pit. But might have been a little bit early, even if they get there. So we'll have to see how this one continues to progress. But we do see Western Michigan putting themselves on Drake Point, and so they will have the opportunity in just about 4.5 minutes to have a nice early, about 21-minute Drake Soul here. Now, we do have a pause. It does look like a PC crash has happened. So as we see in the chat, there's been a bit of a PC crash. Alex Frost, as you guys saw, has been disconnected from the game. So we'll give you guys an update as soon as we have one. But state of the game, as you guys see, NIU actually up in kills here, but they haven't been able to take a tower quite yet. So there are some options here. The objective timers haven't quite kicked in yet, or objective bounties, I should say, haven't quite kicked in yet. And we'll see exactly whether they do end up kicking in. There was a nice bounty onto the Cassante. Does look like that got cashed in. But if you're NIU, you definitely see some avenues here. Your Jinx is already 2-0-1 and will continue to scale, especially once they get their mythic item. Twisted Fate 3-0-2 with a Proto Belt already sitting in a nice spot here. You do see the Divine Sunder has been finished by by Jax on the side of NIU. We see another. This is Radiant Virtue. So this is one of the new mythics for this season. I haven't played as much this season, so I'm going to read along with you guys on what this mythic does. So it's going to give you 400 health. Okay, so it's pretty tanky. And when you use your ultimate, you gain max health for 9 seconds. Okay. And all your allies in range of you gain 20 non-ultimate ability haste and heal for 40 every 3 seconds. Increased by up to 100% of that champion's missing health. That's a pretty interesting item. I do like that on the Sejuani. I'm not going to lie. That's pretty nice for the Sejuani. Definitely one of those new bruiser tank items that they've been talking about. So, yeah, we're pretty excited about those types of things happening here. New items, always a fun one. It does look like there are 8 stacks on the what would this one be? The Scorch Claw for the side of Maokai. Sejuani stacking those jungle stacks just a little bit quicker is at 4 stacks left on the Boss Stomper, so should be able to get through that with some power farming here over the next couple minutes. I think the next objective we're likely going to see them fight over is going to be the Rift Herald. And again, once again, I didn't want to have to say this again, but please, guys, let's keep this chat, nice and not toxic. I mean, we don't need to be, no need to be, specifically trying to call out certain players. I mean, this is not a pro game. We're looking at continuing to, we're trying to continue to show development, and this is, we're excited about the opportunities for each of these players to develop their skills as we go. So, that being said, just please, I do also want to call out that we do have moderators in the chat that are, doing their due diligence and working very hard to make sure that everybody has a great experience. And so, I want to call out and say thank you to the moderators for all of your help so far throughout this one. All right, we do have just a few minutes left, or just a little bit left on this before we potentially get back into match. It does look like, as we look at the chat, they're taking their time, not in a bad way. They need to take their time. It's going to be a full PC reset, so once that comes through, we'll see what happens with it. So do keep in mind that it may be just my apologies, just a minute before we are able to get back into the match here. All right. While we're doing that, we're going to jump to the splash screen real quick, and we'll give you guys an update when we have one about the restart, but expect that it should be no more than just a couple minutes, so should be back in the game pretty shortly here. All right, jumping back in, just to give you guys a quick update here. We do see they are still loading up the computer, but it does look like it's getting close there. They're loading up the disk and the League of Legends client, so we should be in the game pretty shortly here again. We'll give you guys a quick update when that happens, but it is just about just waiting on that computer to be reloaded and rebooted. And then we'll be back into game once again. So we'll give you guys that update once we have it. All right, and as you guys can hear, we are back into game, and things have restarted here. Oh, looks like the pause may have affected just a little bit here, so Let's see if we, there we go. We should be seeing this one back to live as we go. This is where the disconnect had occurred. So here we go. We should see as the unpause happens, the reconnect should happen very shortly here. All right. So visual glitch that has not shown up quite yet. So looking at it, it does look like the side of Western Michigan has started up this second Rift Herald. And NIU does not look like they want to contest this one. They're just going to clear out some vision in the bot side of the map. So it will be every objective so far going over towards the side of Western Michigan. NIU going to have to potentially going to have to see what they can do to get back in this one. And not terribly out of it quite yet. I mean, it is about a 4,000 or 5,000 gold advantage, 4.5, 5, somewhere in there, for the side of Western Michigan, but definitely not an insurmountable one. There you go. That's what you like to see from B Chillin', having that honor level 7, or sorry, honor level 5 recall. Always great to be not toxic. And it does look like that's going to be just the escape from the side of the Jacks here. So we'll see what happens with that one. But looking towards the top lane, you do see a big wave crashing up towards that top lane. And now you're going to need to find somebody to go answer that one. It does look like it is going to be IXI Shot going to be going for that one with the recall here. And NIU going to be looking for something, potentially a Death Brush, but I don't know that it's going to find a whole lot, as we do see that Western Michigan did just kind of rotate everybody towards the top side. So now NIU going to be in a bit of a tough position, and IXI Shot is going to be taken very low. It is just going to be a 5v1, and unfortunately it's pretty difficult to win those, especially as Jacks. Later on in the game, you could definitely get there, but not quite there yet. And now it does look like Western Michigan is potentially looking to push towards the end here, as they do have this Rift Herald. We'll see if they're able to grab anything out of it, and a lot of damage come through onto B-Chillin'. The Glacial Prison doesn't land, so it does mean that Western Michigan does just disengage. They bit off a little more than they could chew, but not able to grab a whole lot more than that. And so NIU will just back away, reset here, hopefully get back the Jacks in just a second here. And does look like it will force the reset from the side of Western Michigan as well. Baron spawning in just about 25 seconds. It does look like Calyx Frost is going to go ahead and set up for that one potentially. Just one more camp on the Sejuani to get the enhanced smite here. Now looking at it as well, we're going to see how, if NIU is able to grab this one. There is finally objective bounties on the turrets here, and now going to be cut off by the Weaver's Wall, and the stones going to be set down here, but will NIU be able to take one back? Jinx is going to be taken very, or Kylon going to be taken very low, but Jinx as well is going to drop here, and now with the teleports coming in, Jax is not quite in a position to help out with this fight, and so it will just be a 5 versus 4 in favor of Western Michigan. And they will now have the advantage to be able to push down this mid lane 5 versus 2. Doesn't look like they'll even want the mid lane. They think they have the potential to clear this top wave, or sorry, to use this top wave to end. It is quite the built-up wave, especially with the double super minions. And so if IXI Shot isn't able to grab a whole lot with this one, it will potentially mean the end. Now, Jinx and Lulu have respawned. We're going to see the Sejuani drop. We'll see if NIU is able to hold these turrets. And they do dive in. That's going to be the counter-strike onto 2. Floge is going to be kept very low but alive. And now Buff Pillsbury Boy also taken very low. Meki is going to slay him. And that'll be 11-6 in favor of Western Michigan. NIU going to be taken super low. But there is going to be the double kill coming through from Meki. The third kill as well. And there is going to be the ace. And Western Michigan will take game number 1 with a really nice end. Not really much NIU could do there. That was a very nice macro play coming out from Western Michigan. And so NIU going to have to go back to the drawing board, and we'll see what they want to do in just a minute for game number 2. But unfortunate with the pause there. We do now see, though, that that NIU does drop game number 1 over towards the side of Western Michigan. We'll be back in just a minute with game number 2. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and we are quickly back to game number 2, and obviously that is not the right overlay there. This is what you want to see, as Cassante immediately going to be taken off the board, as we know exactly what happened in game number 1. We don't even need to recap that, but we will. We'll say that Meki played Cassante, and it was not. I mean, it took over the game. Simple as that. So this time, NIU says no more. Cassante and his Intolfos are taken off the board, so they will not be played in game number 2. Western Michigan, going to run it back with the Rumble Band ban number 1. Very standard ban. We'll see exactly what they want to do with that one. NIU, how do they answer that? Do they go back to something like a Maokai ban, or do they pick it themselves? I'm not quite sure. We'll have to see where they go with this one. It's going to be the Varus used once again and their ban here, so we'll have to see how they utilize that one. The Varus, like we talked about last time, definitely something that can be very utility driven, can steal objectives with it, all sorts of the works. So glad to see that one taken off the board by NIU. Where does Western Michigan answer with this one? Likely going to be something very similar to what they did last time, and it is indeed. It's going to be the same second ban they had last time, which is the Rise. Taking that away from Bichilid, something that he is very comfortable with, and once again, NIU going to go back to that Viego ban, something that we have seen Akalix play in the past, so definitely something they want to take off the board even there. Western Michigan, they could very well run it back with the same 3 bans they had last time. We'll have to see if they do just that, and so we'll see in about 6 seconds what they end up going with for this ban, and they're actually going to take Maokai off the board themselves. So we won't see a Maokai here. We will see instead a Seraphine actually picked or hovered here by NIU. They'll instead go for the Sejuani. Seraphine was that last ban in game number 1 for the side of Western Michigan, so we'll have to see how the change to a Maokai ban, when they were the ones that picked it up themselves last time and left the Seraphine up here. So we'll see what happens with it. Jungle already picked up for NIU. Now Western Michigan has 2 picks to potentially answer here. We'll see what they want to do with it. Do they go for a jungle here? No, it's going to be the Mordekaiser locked in. Likely going to go up towards the top lane. I would imagine that that's where you have to put a Mordekaiser. So we'll have to see if that is indeed how they elect to play this out. Could it be a very standard, everybody picking their own so far? We'll have to see, as we do have 9 seconds left before they go ahead and make this next pick. And indeed, it is going to be the Karma picked up again here. So definitely something they have a lot of priority here for the side of Western Michigan. We'll see the side of WMU and their support playing that Karma once again. Now Lucian and Nami both available. Definitely both got hit by the ban hammer, or the nerf hammer I should say, over the course of this B patch. But we'll see if it's something that NIU still elects to go towards. They already have the Lucian. It still can be paired with quite a few different supports, but you go to that power pick, you grab that bot lane priority that you want, and it's going to be the Lucian Nami while those things are still available. Force the side of Western Michigan to either answer the ADC here or potentially have that role really low prio with the bans coming out here from the side of NIU. We'll see where they want to go, and it is going to be the ADC answer. They will go with the Xayah. So a little bit different than what you might expect here. A few different builds that can be picked up here for the side of the Xayah. So I'm interested to see how they want to play this out, whether it's the on-hit build, the crit build, the lethality build even. But Jack's going to be taken off the board by the side of Western Michigan. They don't want to see IXI shot go back towards that one. It is interesting going into a Mordekaiser. I wouldn't necessarily expect the Jax pick. So it is an interesting ban from the side of Western Michigan, but it is something they must be a little bit worried about. Lissandra once again going to be taken off the board by the side of NIU. Must be something that we've seen the side of Western Michigan and their mid laner play it and be pretty confident on that champion. So NIU electing not to allow that in either of these 2 games so far, and will indeed ban that away. 6 seconds till we see what the side of Western Michigan wants to do to once again make this final ban, and it's going to be the Twisted Fate taken off the board for B. Chillin. He went that direction last game, so it's going to be the Talia in answer. We will see a very different mid lane coming through this time. We'll have to see how we go through. And it is going to be the Vex, banned away by NIU last time, but is going to be the hover here for the side of Western Michigan. We'll see if they want to answer that one and how NIU will respond to that, whether it's something like the is it something like the Ahri, which is interesting because it plays into what Vex wants to do, though Ahri does tend to have a little bit of a higher power ceiling than the Vex does at competitive play. At least in recent times. But yeah, Ahri definitely going to be somebody that's dashing around, allowing Vex to get a few more of her marks off on you. So going to be interested to see how that interaction ends up playing out. But it is indeed going to be what B. Chillin goes for. So in 4 different games so far this season, B. Chillin has played 4 different champions. Aatrox going to be what we go for IXI shot IXI, as that is going to go towards the top lane, and so we will see a little bit more of a beefy champion up in the top lane. With the Eclipse changes, does mean that you're not, necessarily healing all of your health immediately, though Ornn is going to be an interesting choice if that is indeed locked in. It would likely mean, no, Darius is going to be the top laner, so that is going to be a Mordekaiser in the jungle, and Darius going to be the one picked here. So looks like they might have been baiting NIU with the Mordekaiser as a top laner. Indeed, it goes as the jungler. So it is a little different. I think the Mordekaiser jungle does work. It's worked a little bit more since they changed it to have that ability to heal off of the jungle creeps last season, early on in the season. I do believe that was, but it's definitely an interesting pick. We'll have to see how NIU wants to play this out, because Darius definitely a feast or famine champion. It does seem so far like Western Michigan's game plan is to put the ball in their top laner's court and then let him carry. So we'll see if NIU is able to shut him down early on with this one. I think there's definitely some opportunities for it with their composition, some chances to roam up the Ahri, to dive with the Sejuani. Aatrox definitely going to be somebody that's able to poke out a Darius if they're able to land their skills pretty consistently. As we were mentioning last time, keep up to date with all things NIU Esports. Join our Discord at discord.gg/NIU Esports. It's going to have calendars as well as all sorts of different updates on all sorts of events that we're doing, as well as the different games that we've got going on. And so you'll be able to check out the schedule for this League of Legends season, as well as the various different varsity teams' schedules for this semester. Things we have coming up, we have the Smash for Support event will be coming up. We have some announcements we'll be making about that pretty shortly, but that's coming up here in a few weeks. All charity benefits will go to, and it is a Smash Bros tournament with all proceeds benefiting the Trevor Project. So lots of awesome stuff going on with it. We'll have some more announcements as well, but yeah, keep up for our next broadcasts. Next broadcasts are going to be on Saturday. We'll have another League of Legends match. That's going to be at 2 p.m. Central. And then at Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central, we'll be seeing NIU Overwatch look to stay undefeated, as they have already gone 2-0 so far. So they're looking strong, and we'll have to see if they're able to keep it up against I believe a strong opponent in... It's a good question. We'll have to figure... I'll have by the end of the game who is NIU playing in Overwatch this week. On Saturday, NIU going to be playing Kent State in League of Legends, so that one's going to be a fun one. 3 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Central. So that one should be a fun matchup once again. Looking at this week... We're going to see for Overwatch, let's see who they're playing. If we have the update on the schedule here. Yep, as we do. Looks like on Tuesday of next week, NIU is going to be taking on Central Michigan in Overwatch. That one's going to be at 7 p.m. Central, so don't forget to tune in for that as well. All right. 20 seconds to go. Throw into the chat who you think is going to win this matchup. We've got NIU on the blue side, Western Michigan on the red side. Hopefully NIU is able to take a game off of this one, force us to go to a game number 3, as we are playing a best of 3 in this matchup tonight. All right, we'll be ready to go with the game here very shortly, so we are pretty excited about this one. We'll have to see exactly how this one goes. And as we load in, we'll get you guys switched over to the game very shortly. Just waiting for the game to load in. It is going to be the, once again, no heal coming through for the bot lane of the side of Western Michigan. A couple of different ghosts. We see a cleanse coming through for the ADC. We see Ghost on Darius, but that's pretty standard, as well as Ghost and Smite on Acalyx Frost. And then we're going to see as well the teleport in the mid lane. NIU answers on your own with a... As hopefully that'll switch over for you. There it goes. Okay. Oops. As there we go. Okay. Oops. And let's turn on objective timers for you guys. There you go. You can definitely see those now. And so we'll be seeing Dragon here in about 4 minutes. Baron in 19, so nothing to worry about there. And Meki going to be finding a little bit of a poke on towards IXI shot, but he's just going to dash over the wall. Not a whole lot to worry about there. Does get a little bit of the bleed. Dunkmaster Darius, always a fun skin. Looking at the runes, we see Conqueror on the Aatrox, also Conqueror on Darius and Mordekaiser. We see the Aftershock on the Sejuani. It is going to be Electrocute with the Ignite for the Ahri, so definitely a more of a poke build, whereas you see Electrocute with Teleport for the side of Floge. X Reloaded is going to be taking Press the Attack with the heal, and Cleanse and Lethal Tempo for the Xayah, so a little bit more of the, looks like potentially the lethality or the attack speed build coming through there. Summon Aerie for Nami, as well as, or Nami, I should say, and then Arcane Comet for the Karma once again. Looking through, NIU just looking to poke a little bit on the bot lane, but the bot lane getting pushed in just a little bit. Mordekaiser having to use that early potion to stay up healthy with the clear, so we'll see if he's forced to back a little bit earlier here. Now, both these junglers are taking the Moss Stomper this time, so pretty similar in their smite strategies. And NIU missing one creep there in the bot lane. We'll have to see if they're able to get that back, but a lot of damage going through on towards Ahri, and the early Syndra gank potentially here. We'll have to see if that is the direction that NIU wants to go. Syndra hovering pretty consistently here, seeing if the Vex wants to overcommit here. Doesn't end up finding a whole lot with that, so does just grab some vision and make sure that the the mid laner here for NIU in B Chillin is able to be protected, I should say, through the fight there. Nami doing a good job keeping Lucian up on health. Is down just a little bit in CS, but that is kind of common across the board here for NIU. We'll see if they're able to farm some of this back in as they stay a little safer and in the back. Now that's going to be the Charm Landing, and there's the full combo from Ahri. So you can see the power of what that trade looks like in favor of B Chillin. The more common trade, the easier to execute trade, is going to be from the Vex, so we'll more commonly see the Ahri's health bar taken lower, whereas you'll see once a full combo does land by the Ahri, then that'll take more off of the health bar of the side of the Vex here. So we'll have to see how that one goes. We do see in the chat that Malphite would be a great pick for game number 3 because he is a rock-solid pick, and that's always a great one. Now, the Sejuani definitely taking the long angle and not able to grab a whole lot. The Ghost does come out, and now the Teleport is also expended from the Vex. We'll see if NIU is able to grab First Blood. They are going to be able to grab the stun on towards from Sejuani. Flash comes through from Meki, so he'll have to use both Summoner spells. NIU not having to drop any, and 3 utilized there by the side of Western Michigan. Doesn't end up being any kills, but definitely a trade you will take if you are NIU, as you grabbed 3 Summoner spells and gave the Ahri the chance to recall and grab her items as well. Aatrox is going to roam down, play some vision. Does stand on vision when doing so, but nicely done getting the sweet spot. And actually, unlike last game, we do see now that IXI Shot is able to get the early lead here in terms of the level. Darius should be able to grab some of this farm, and there you go, even out the levels. But first Drake is spawning. One thing that is something to note is Western Michigan definitely has a prio on these Drakes. They do roam over their bot lane immediately, and now the mid lane as well. So NIU probably just going to have to give this one up. They do elect to do so, and it will be first Drake going over towards Western Michigan, as they do have this jungle priority on the Drakes. Now notice that Ahri is roaming up towards the top lane. Darius is backing away. We'll have to see if they're able to stop the recall. He does cancel it, so this could potentially be an angle for NIU to go through. They'll have to land a solid charm on this one. The recall does start here. We'll see if they're able to land the dive here. Now, Ahri does go through. We'll see the chains of corruption, or sorry, the chain does not land. So that does mean that NIU isn't really able to grab a whole lot. There's going to be a tower shot landing on towards the Aatrox, but NIU wants to go for this one still, and it looks like they're still setting up the dive. There's the ultimate coming through. The charm doesn't land, but it doesn't really matter. That's going to be first blood over to IXI Shot, as he knew what damage he needed to do, and he's able to do just that. So really well played by NIU, committing quite a bit towards that top dive. Does mean they have to burn the flash, but because they already had gotten the flashes in that earlier trade, they knew that Darius really couldn't escape that one, and so they were able to do a really good job of forcing the fight and the dive there, and just being confident enough to take it and grab the first blood onto their top laner. Now, as we go, it does seem that all of Western does go ahead and set up the reset here. They back away, grab their items. That is going to be the Sheen coming through from the Darius. Not necessarily the best pickup. If you're maxing, well, you can pick it up. I've not necessarily seen a Sheen as the start, if I remember. It's been a while since I played Darius, though, so maybe it is what we're picking here. Anyway, looking across the board, it does mean that we do see the invade coming through from Xanakin. He doesn't spot anything there, but he has been spotted, so this could potentially be a collapse on towards the jungler of NIU here. The chain does land. Now this could be a 2v2, and NIU actually getting quite a bit done with this Aatrox. Now Calyx is taken low as well. NIU going to see if they can't force this back. The ult does come through from Vex, and this is going to be the turnaround, as Darius now has been able to do quite a bit of damage. One thing that you don't necessarily get in the Spectator is that we did see that, well, maybe not. It looked like maybe Mordekaiser had sent Sejuani to the Death Realm and had fought her in there. Although, looking at the cooldown on the ultimate, I'm not sure that that was the case. I think there may have been the opportunity for that, but no, it was not used. So I think, oh, there's nice chains, and potentially Meki just able to step out of the way of that sweet spot. I think otherwise that probably would have been a kill going over towards the side of IXI Shot. But it is going to be 3 in favor of Western Michigan, and none in favor of NIU in that engage. Now, Mordekaiser going to be here. That's going to be the ultimate used by Mordekaiser. Traded a little back by IXI Shot, and he is going to be caught here, as there's not really a whole lot he can do, but now he's going to be able to get the knockup, and Sweet Spot does land, but lots of burn damage. nicely done by the side of Western Michigan to be able to trade aggro, but Xanakin going to be here. Is the ultimate going to be available? That is going to be the glacial tomb, I believe, is what that's called. No, that would be Sejuani. Glacial prison thing is going to be the one, and they are going to be able to grab one back. So it will be 1 for 1. NIU will grab one back here. Notice as well, Noonquiver grabbed by the Zaya, but had to take quite a bit of a deficit to be able to do so. Now going to be able to recall and grab the advantage off of that farm lead, but definitely didn't have the same items that Lucian had while having the Noonquiver. Pickaxe and the Nether Cloak or Nimbus Cloak, sorry, going to be picked up here. I believe that's Nimbus Cloak, but doesn't really matter. Whatever the cloak is, maybe Cloak of Agility. The one that gives you crit is going to be picked up here. So definitely going for the for the ADC item. Pickaxe is going to be picked up by the Lucian, and here's where he might be at a little bit of a disadvantage as he isn't able to grab the cloak as well. Yeah, there's the Hearthbound Axe. That's more of what I like to see on Darius as the starting item, but definitely different priorities here from this Darius on the side of Western Michigan, piloted by Mech. All right, nicely traded back, and actually Logan finding himself in a good spot. That's going to be having to time out the ultimate here from the Darius, but does have to use the dash to get in range for that sweet spot. Doesn't end up grabbing a whole lot from it. Now it is going to be the fight over this dragon, and it doesn't look like either of the teleports are available here. Now, ult going to be used by the side of NIU, and a nice flash to be able to get out of that one. Going to be forced to do so is Darius and Meki, but NIU going to look to see if they can't contest this Drake. It is taken low. They are going to be forced to just play a little bit defensively. Now, culling does come through. They're going to be able to grab one, but there's going to be the damage. Float's going to be taken low as well. Xanakin's still staying alive. Really nicely done. Traded back is one. Extra load going to be killed off here, and so that will be... Actually, he's going to be staying alive. He'll be able to grab two, now potentially three, and going to dash forward. Not able to grab a whole lot more out of that, and it is going to be a 2 for 3 in favor of NIU. And they will go ahead and just reset off of this dragon, but it will force the side of Western Michigan to respect that, and they won't have the men alive to be able to kill that one. So really well done, able to grab that. Now jumping in, Meki is going to go ahead and continue to fight out this one with IXI shot. Nicely done to grab the sweet spot and land the chain. So getting quite a bit of damage here, and that's going to be now the start of the trade here. Nicely done. That's a flash forward and an overcommit by the side of the Darius. IXI shot with the clean solo kill on the Darius here, paying him back for some of those fights that went in his favor last game. Now we'll have to see if NIU is able to grab a whole lot on this objective. They are going to be able to grab a turret plate up in the top lane, and they look to potentially fight out on this dragon as well, as we do see that both teams just trying to control the vision in that bot side river. Vex is going to be the first to rotate here, and we do see a potential fight starting up. Now, Mordekai's are actually going to be starting up this dragon. I think NIU might have to just give it up, considering their bot lane doesn't have priority to be able to rotate. Although, now the Glacial Prison does come through. Vex going to be taken low, and it is a bit of a commit, but nicely done with the follow-up charm to be able to grab a lot of damage. Now, Cullen going to be coming off the side, and Calyx Frost is going to be taken with going to be using his ultimate, and just doesn't time out that correctly. It will be Western Michigan backing away from this, and I believe NIU will just go ahead and start up this dragon. We'll see if Western Michigan wants to recommit to this fight. It does look like Vex has stepped away from it, but they may look to steal. They do have the Blast Cone available, and they don't end up using it, so it will be NIU grabbing their first Drake of the match, and they will have an Infernal in their favor. So, Ocean Drake going to be the soul for this one. Ocean Soul for this game. but we do see that going on through as we go. But NIU clawing their way back into this one. The gold lead down to just about 300, which is negligible at this point. So really nicely done by NIU staying in this one. The Lucian, definitely a pick that is working out in NIU's favor. Lucian Nami, a strong duo together, and 2-0-1 is X Reloaded on this champion. Looking at that, there's the nice chains. Could potentially pull back the fight here, but Zanakin gonna look to potentially get the stun on towards the Vex, and able to do that very well. Now the ult comes through. Akalix Frost is gonna have to go ahead and use the doesn't have the cleanse, so is just gonna have that timed out. But yeah, there it is. It could be potentially the fight, and B-Chillin gonna be able to grab a second one out of that one. So I believe the first one may have gone towards the Sejuani, but B-Chillin doing a really nice job of grabbing those, or working together with Zanakin, and they were able to grab a couple kills there, and NIU looking like they're on the front foot for the first time in this match in game number 2 here. So we'll have to see how they want to continue to play it out, but now they're able to grab a little bit of damage on towards that one, as that is going to be just a lot of damage coming through, actually forcing the ulti is Darius on towards this on towards the Aatrox, and is able to get the kill with the burn from the Darius passive, but just a bit enough. It does use the Ghost as well as the ultimate there, does Darius. Now, keep in mind, Darius ultimate does not get the partial reset if it is the burn after using the ultimate that ends up killing you. It has to be the actual ultimate itself. So Darius doesn't have that available for, I believe it's about 120 seconds at this point. Vex is roaming down here, and this will mean that the first turret will go over towards the side of Western Michigan. Western Michigan also roaming down the jungler here, and that is going to be pulled forward. But NIU does have their ADC, and everybody here will see with the call landing as well. It is going to be a 4v4, and there's going to be the continued damage. Now, nicely done. Able to stun up Akalix Frost, and they're able to grab one. Now the teleport does come through. They're going to be grabbing a little bit of damage. IXI shot taken very low, and able to grab one back is the side of Western Michigan. They're able to grab a second back, and it is going to be just back and forth. 2 for 1, or sorry, 3 for 2, now 4 for 2 in favor of NIU. Flash comes through from Black Sheep to avoid that charm, but there is still going to be the slow coming through from Zanakin, and I believe that all that, sorry, it was a 3 for 2, now going to be a 4 for 2, as Darius did stay up in the top lane. And now we also see that the Rift Herald is going to be placed down by the Sejuani, so evening out the turret score here in the bot lane, although Darius does get the chance to just grab a turret for himself up in the top lane and grab that Triforce, so he's definitely a force to be reckoned with. But we're definitely in a good spot here if you're NIU. You're even in gold, even a little ahead, about a 1,000 gold lead, as well as up in kills, and have some priority to be able to potentially take these dragons as they spawn. We'll see how both sides want to continue to play this one out, but these team fights definitely being very closely fought. They're on our knife's edge, if you will. Just going back and forth are the different teams. X Reloaded grabbing every minion in that wave, getting the lucky crits on all of them, but does have the ability to grab each and every one of those. Yeah, be chillin', more like be cooking, as you guys have said in the chat. Charm able to land, and there's just half the health of Black Sheep. That karma is taken extremely low. Now, 29 seconds till the first dragon of the Ocean Drake Soul does spawn, and frankly, this is NIU taking that second one is so awesome for them, because they're able to potentially just take this in as the culling does come through, and that's actually going to be a Akalix Frost taken very low. NIU able to grab one. Now the tidal wave does come through. That's going to be 2. The resets come through from Aatrox. There's a 3rd and a 4th, and NIU may potentially look to fight this one. Just continue to chase down the Xayah, and there it is. The charm is going to land. That's going to be the cleanse as well, forced from the side of Kylon. Gonna have to use that, otherwise that would have been the ace in favor of NIU. they'll lose just one member in that fight, actually lose no members in that fight, and they will go ahead and grab a bunch of damage on the mid lane, tier 1 turret. They'll grab the dragon in their favor, and they will have priority to recall and reset and set up for this Baron when it spawns in just about 1 minute. So really, really nicely done by NIU, able to take that fight and put themselves in a really nice spot to potentially take this game or have a nice lead through the mid game with a 34.5k gold lead. Sorry, not 34.5k gold lead, 34.5k gold compared to the 30.7k for the side of Western Michigan. That is a 4,000 gold lead, not a 35k gold lead. If that was the case, then we'd be having a different discussion. But I want to give props to each and every member of NIU's team. Look at those bounties up and down the board. 700 gold bounty on the Ari from B Chillin. We see the Lucian with 150 gold bounty. 0, and 10, the unsung hero, Nami of this one, and Sejuani 2, 2, and 11. And then Aatrox just putting in work against this Darius. 3, 4, and 5 for IXI shot on the champion. Baron is spawning just now. NIU going to look to push aggressively in, and actually they're going to grab a lot of damage on towards the Mordekaiser, and B Chillin is going to go godlike. And without a jungler here for the side of Western Michigan, NIU decides to just go ahead and start up this Baron. They are going to be on Vision, and you see the recalls were going to come through from Western Michigan, but they elect to just go ahead and contest this one because I think they know that if NIU grabs this, there's a very solid potential for NIU to grab a bunch of gold in this and potentially make the game insurmountable, like the lead was for Western Michigan in the last game. Western Michigan wisely is actually going to take the turret out of this one, so the Baron power play will actually right now be in favor of Western Michigan, but as NIU gets these resets, is able to spend the gold and then potentially push out some of these lanes, it will eventually go back into their favor. But yeah, look at that. A Death Cap finished up by the Ari. We see the Death's Dance finished up by the Aatrox. We see Anathema's Chains finished by the Sejuani. The Blade of the Rune King was just finished by Lucian. All of these champions in such a good spot to be potentially winning this game. They just have to finish off these fights and execute really well through the end of this game. Aatrox is going to go ahead and just continue to push out on the top side with that Baron buff available. Now, Meki is going to get caught by this one. That's a full load of sweet spots, and now it could potentially be the fight back, and there's going to be the ultimate, and that is now just enough to get out of that one. Going to have to use the Ghost, and the Flash is Darius, and he will just barely survive, as well as the teleport from Floj. Everything having to be used to keep this Darius alive. And like we mentioned in Champ Select, Western Michigan has a lot of priority on this top laner, and they're going to look to invest everything to keep him alive, and they absolutely needed everything to make sure that IXI shot did not get his second solo kill of the game on this Aatrox. And are you going to go ahead and try for a, looks about a 1-2-2 in the push? Though they look to maybe look for Darius here, and once again, there's going to be the pick, and the charm does land, so B Chillin going to use his ultimate invested into that one, but the charm lands, so NIU going to go ahead and just position aggressively for this bot lane tier 2 turret. Now they could potentially grab a pick here, and that charm does not land this time. Ult is used, so B Chillin will just back away and join his team, and so NIU will look to siege on this bot lane tier 2 turret. They potentially could grab more, as this wave isn't even close to cleared. My apologies, it was. There were only 2 casters, but there's a decent bit of damage on towards Floj, and it will be NIU now rotating towards the mid lane and potentially grabbing the tier 2 there. Also going to grab the tier 1 in the top lane, and that is absolutely what you want to be doing. You just want to rotate around, grab the turret when the wave crashes, and then back away, look for the next one, keep these fights going. Charm was nicely placed, not able to land it, does just dodge away. Knew that he was spotted by the Scryer's Bloom. Now, we're going to see NIU having to back away from this one. Nice engage by Western Michigan. NIU, though not really a whole lot of difficulty in backing away from that one, will just mean that the wave gets cleared away. And so NIU will look to reset, look for the next wave, and potentially crash that one with the mid tier 2 at half HP already. They'll look to potentially grab one in. the ultimates are available for the side of NIU. All 5 ultimates available there, as well as on the side of Western Michigan. So NIU does decide instead that though the Baron buff should, yeah, it just did expire. So with the Baron buff expiring, they're going to go ahead and back away, look for this this second Ocean Drake, potentially put themselves on Soul Point. And yeah, without Western Michigan doing anything to contest here, it is going to be Soul Point for the side of NIU. And I think there really is a great chance for NIU to force a game number 3 and take this one all the way to the decider game in the series. Heart of Oak says that that we're cooking up a gourmet meal. We're not just B Chillin's not just cooking; he's cooking up a gourmet meal, a full feast, if you will. And I have to agree. You know, he's had the game 9, 2, and 6. That 10 seal. Oh, there's going to be the cleanse coming through. Having to get that one out as there's a lot of damage. The Calyx Frost is going to take Buff Pillsbury Boy very low here. Does get him into the ultimate. Now he is going to burn down, and NIU might have bitten off a little more than they could chew. They should. Maybe they're not going to go ahead and grab that that turret. They won't be able to siege it down. I think if they were able to grab just the last few autos onto that dragon, they may have been able to take that one. But Darius now just taking the top lane tier 2, and all of a sudden, Western Michigan has gone has kind of weathered the storm of that Baron buff, and now has themselves in a good position to potentially take a fight, take a couple of split pushes here. And Darius is not somebody that you want to leave alone split pushing at this point in the game. Does look like we'll see both junglers just continuing to farm out for a little bit here, though. No major objectives. 1 minute on Baron, 3 minutes 40 seconds till Soul Point. So both of these teams just continuing to ward up, potentially set up for this Drake, or for the Baron, I should say. And looking at it as well, Western Michigan are going to be the first ones to ward up the topside river here. NIU will get there, potentially clear out some of this vision, and then maybe we'll see if they're able to grab that one and take the vision themselves. So they know that Western Michigan wants to contest this. Tristana is not there and does not have, or sorry, Vex is not there, does have teleport. My apologies. Now that is going to be a lot of damage on towards Anakin, but with the passive from Sejuani, doesn't really mean a whole lot in the end. We'll just have the resistances temporarily buffed, and so we'll back away, and they'll see we'll see the reset coming through. 7 seconds on Baron. Both teams positioning aggressively for this one, and we'll see if they're able to grab the vision. NIU does a nice job of pushing in the mid wave, but we do see the commit towards the top side with Darius and Mordekaiser both there. NIU does not see this. Now they do. They are going to commit up the Sejuani towards the Calyx Frost. That is going to be the stun. Now the charm does land. There's the potential. There's going to be the ult from Mordekaiser on towards the on towards Ahri, and nicely done diving over the wall. So that'll be a wasted ultimate from Mordekaiser. Not a whole lot that he can do except for disengage with that one, and so that will not be available in the next fight. Does mean that the ultimate from B Chillin is not available. That's going to be the Glacial Augment over the wall. Now, Darius does get taken very low. He's going to survive this one, and now you're going to have to back away from it. They will have the chains. Now there's going to be the damage going on towards the Aatrox, but he is just such a tanky member. He's going to be able to grab a lot back here, and neither team has had anybody fall here. Aatrox going to be looking to threaten for this once again. The Calyx Frost is going to be taken very low. Looks like NIU will be the ones with the priority on this Baron, and they'll go ahead and start that up very shortly. So they're going to go ahead and start it. Both teams looking to heal up a little bit. NIU just a little bit quicker to the heals. They're going to be able to start this one up, get it down to about half HP. Does not look like Western Michigan is going to look to contest on this one, and so this will be NIU's second Baron of the game. Next thing these two teams are going to fight over is going to be that potential soul here in just about 1 minute and 11 seconds. We'll have to see if the teams are going to be ready for that one. It looks like Ahri is just sticking around, farming out this jungle just a little bit more, looking to grab as much power into the items as can be. Does have the stopwatch available, not quite broken yet, but does have, oh, Buff Pillsbury Boy could be caught here. Is going to go ahead and get away from that one, so that was a bit of a risky situation if you're NIU, but is able to get out of that one, and now the potential for a collapse does come through with Aatrox threatening on the dragon side of the map does go ahead and just dive over the wall. So NIU is going to go ahead and see if they can't grab a fight, grab the mid lane damage. Now, just going to be getting away is the Mordekaiser, and now this could be potentially turned around. Doesn't end up grabbing a whole lot. NIU is going to fight over the vision here. Timing-wise, NIU should be the ones to have priority over the Dragon Pit at the time that it spawns, which is going to be 15 seconds. NIU going to back away from this one. Now they do have priority, but both teams are grouped. Aatrox does land the Q over the wall, does miss the sweet spot on the second one, and so he will have to back away. They're going to just use the blast cone over the wall, and so it will be NIU looking to potentially go back in there. There's going to be the dive forward from the Sejuani. Not able to grab a lot, but that's going to be the Charm. Is going to be able to grab one. Now he's going to be able to grab two, as that's going to be Meki falling as well. Echolix Frost is taken very low. Double kill on towards X Reloaded. Now is able to grab a little bit more damage, as there's going to be the triple kill. Ari's going to be killed off on the other side of the fight, but there's going to be the chains coming through. Ari taken very low. That's going to be the quadra kill on towards X Reloaded. Will he be able to grab this one? The knockup needs to happen, and they are just going to flash away. Kylon not going to allow the Penta to happen, but that's all right because NIU has this uncontested mid lane for the next, I believe it's about 15-20 seconds here. They're going to go ahead and grab another turret in the mid lane here, and as well, they'll put themselves and win the soul point here, so they will go ahead and grab the Ocean Soul and be able to heal up so quickly after each of these fights. There's going to be an inhibitor turret falling. They're going to go ahead and potentially grab the inhibitor number 2, or sorry, grab the inhibitor in the mid lane here. X Reloaded going to be taken very low. It will be the inhibitor falling for the side of NIU, or sorry, for the side of Northwestern Michigan. My apologies. As NIU does overcommit to that one, it is going to force the flash from Darius, but Soul went over towards the side of NIU, and they have to be careful here. They need to be able to hold this mid lane for the next 25 seconds or so while their ADC support and top laner are dead, but they had the opportunity to grab that one, and so the mid lane is open on the side of Western Michigan. It could very well be answered here, as they are 5-man pushing against just the 2 champs from NIU. They don't have the wave here. They have just 1 minion. I don't think they can wait for the wave to be able to grab that inhibitor turret. So overall, going to be a good trade for NIU. A little bit sloppy at the end, losing those 3 kills, but able to wait this one out. And just 5 minutes, 12 seconds till Elder spawns. That's going to be what Western Michigan is putting their money on here. 2 minutes, 28 seconds till Baron. If NIU can secure either one or both of those objectives, that very likely would spell the end of the game, and we'd move to a game 3. But we'll have to see exactly how they want to fight this one out. Western Michigan, only about 4,500, 5,000 gold behind, so it's certainly not an insurmountable lead here by the side of NIU. Nicely, oh, I thought the chains did land. He was standing on a ward, but I did think the chains would land on that one, so thought he was going to be able to stop the recall, and there were a lot of members of NIU following up on that, so there was a strict potential for that one. We'll have to see where they want to go with this. NIU now going to push out the top lane. Does look like they have everybody up there, so that is going to be Meki backing away. NIU does have the wave available. I'm not sure if Western Michigan is going to be able to roam or rotate over quick enough to stop this turret from dying. Now, yeah, Darius is going to get there, but really just too much damage from the side of NIU, and so he does elect to just back away from that. Now, without Baron even, it is going to be 4 members of Western Michigan, but Mordekaiser's not there. Black Sheep's going to be taken very low, but will not have anything to re-engage with that one. They will just clear the wave, will Western Michigan. And so NIU going to have to wait for the next one. Does look like everybody on Western Michigan has been able to reset. That bot lane wave is crashing for the side of Western Michigan. So NIU may have to go and answer that one. Does look like the turret will stay healthy enough to that they decide that they just want to continue to siege up. Charm does miss just barely, but we do see, as we switch to it here, that IXI shot has actually been forcing them to answer on the mid lane, forcing those supers in towards the base. Mordekaiser forced to back away and looking for that one. Charm does land on towards Black Sheep, but not really able to do a whole lot with that one, as the damage did come through from the Karma as well. And so NIU now looks like they might have the position, although the pull from Darius does just barely miss, so I think otherwise that probably would have been a couple of deaths on the side of NIU. Now, NIU does decide to just back away. They've said they've sieged enough. They're not going to be able to grab this without the Baron, and Baron does spawn in just 8 seconds. Now, NIU could be potentially setting up a death rush. They know that Western Michigan has to know that they have to go for this one. It is actually warded there, so they knew they were going up towards that. So the ward does drop. It means that NIU can't find that, and there the pings do come out. Western Michigan knows that they have to go towards this Baron. Otherwise, they really don't have a whole lot that they can do to stave off a Baron-empowered push here. NIU going to just go ahead and death brush this. There is at least one that's going to get spotted out, but is it going to be enough? As Mordekaiser's the only one that's going to be found, or that's going to have a, that's going to be going for this. He is going to be found out here, and that's going to be traded right back. It looked like he might be able to grab one, but X Reloaded taken low, but does survive. And so NIU will just go ahead and grab this. Vex going to go ahead and grab the bot lane tier 2, but if you're NIU, you definitely take that trade every day of the week. You take it every day from here to Sunday, and you want that. So NIU will grab their 3rd Baron of the game, and Western Michigan will get a tier 2 turret for it. So stonks, I suppose, but we're going to have to see how NIU decides to play this out. They're going to continue to siege out on this top lane. Aatrox's going to answer the wave on the bot lane, so it will be a potentially a 1-4 or a 4-0-1 push here for the side of NIU. I think they definitely have the opportunity here, and if this push doesn't really work, then they always have priority to go over towards the Drake and potentially take the Elder here in just about 1 minute and 10 seconds. I think if you're Western Michigan, oh, there's the Glacial Prison is going to land. Xanakin going to be taken very low, but the teleport is used by the Aatrox here. He's going to try to re-engage, and now you're not going to really find a whole lot with that, but neither is Western Michigan, and so both teams taking very back and forth, and it is just going to be the continued siege on this turret. Now, there's going to be the damage. B-Chillin going to be forced to use the Zonias. There's the flashback. Now able to grab one is Floge. And now you're going to trade this one back, and it looks like there's just a 2-for-1 in favor of Western Michigan. In fact, it's a 2-for-0 in favor of Western Michigan. Now the 3-for-0. The charm does land, and Meki is in a good spot to be able to potentially kill Buff Pillsbury Boy as well. NIU going to lose their support as well. Baron-empowered recall does mean that they'll at least keep B-Chillin alive in this, but if you're NIU, that is not what you want to see, because now there's really not a way to contest this Elder Drake. And Western Michigan is going to definitely look for that one on spawn. Ari is going to go ahead and see, but by the time the Elder Drake spawns, I believe you've got, yeah, you won't even have your ADC. There's absolutely no way that NIU can contest this. They have to just turtle at this point for the next 2 minutes and wait out this, because they cannot take a fight through the Elder Drake, especially with the game as close as it is. There's too much damage on the side of Western Michigan. With Elder, they can just execute anybody on the side of NIU. Looking across, NIU going to try to continue to farm up. It does look like they're getting towards potentially the Guardian Angel for X Reloaded. That would be his final item. We see the Dark Seal still available for the Ari. Now down to 7 stacks on that, so not quite traded in for a Morellonomicon. We'll have to see where they want to go with that one. And we'll have to see where they go. Objective bounties, if you notice, are still available for Western Michigan, which is interesting considering they're only down about 1,000 gold at this point. We'll have to see. They decide they're going to go 4 men in the mid lane and then have the Darius up in, or sorry, down in the bot lane. NIU just going to look to clear these waves. They're going to have to do just that. And Baron empowered, or sorry, Elder empowered buff is going to be available here, and there's going to be the damage, and yeah, that's going to be the power of the Xayah and Vex combo with this Elder buff, the execute available for them, and so NIU will be without B-Chillin for quite a long time. X Reloaded is going to be taken very low. Looking at it, I believe there's about a minute left, maybe about 35 seconds left on this Elder, so NIU has to just hold for a little bit here. I think they might be able to do it, but it is going to be a tough one. The culling is not available, so they can't clear that wave necessarily as easily as they would have liked, and it is going to look like looks like Western Michigan is going to try to end this with this wave. I don't know that NIU has the wave clear, but I also don't know that Western Michigan has the wave to be able to end this, and they're going to go ahead. NIU will clear out the wave, so it will force the back, or the reset here from Western Michigan. They'll turn their attention towards the top side, and they'll potentially be able to take this as a second inhibitor turret for themselves. Now, that's going to be one IXI shot taken very low, but is still going to stay out of execution range, and it does look like at this point Western Michigan is just going to back away. They have about, I apologize, I had the wrong time on that Elder, but it does look like it times out very shortly here. So NIU with 5 members left alive at this point, we'll just go ahead and restart this. Minute and 30 left towards Baron. We'll see if they're able to grab any picks, as the Elder is not available anymore. It does just despawn now, so ultimate going to be used by the Aatrox. It is a short cooldown, so not a super worrisome ultimate to be used, but definitely going to start that one out. And now NIU going to go ahead and grab the pick on towards Floach. Is it going to be enough, though, as there's going to be some damage traded back? Ultimate used by Xanakin, but is it really going to be enough to finish this one off? Without the Elder, NIU now knows that they can fight these, but they have to be able to execute on the fight. Aatrox is going to go ahead and recall, crash, or grab the wave that's crashing in towards the bot side, and actually is going to have his recall stopped. So NIU going to have to reset through this one. We'll have to see where they want to go with it. This is definitely a game that can go either direction. Gold lead now is only 300 in favor of NIU. Inhibitor has respawned for the side of Western Michigan, so that is going to mean that the wave will push in favor of Western Michigan, especially as this Baron is spawning. So now Western looks to be the ones to set up this Death Rush. NIU is going to have to be very careful on this. They do look like they're just going to try to clear out this wave, kind of sussing out that there might be this Death Rush happening. Yeah, they're pinging that there might be vision there even. Now that's going to be the Shirelias. Now teleport going to be used by the Aatrox. Now that is the ultimate from Vex. Taken low, now going to be traded. Oh, not actually going to be able to grab the kill is the side of the Lucian. Now that's going to be the kill coming back, and that is going to be turned around. Vex is going to get the triple kill. Now potentially a Quadra, actually going to just reset. Kylon going to be able to grab that one. And unfortunate for NIU, it looks like Western Michigan just is able to grab that fight, and the overcommit right before the Elder is going to cost NIU, as not really a whole lot that Xanakin can do. It's going to be Xanakin versus the world. Not a wave in the mid lane, but one is going to be there very shortly, and there's going to be the ace coming through from Western Michigan. And there was so much hope for NIU, and unfortunately it is just going to be Western Michigan finding the victory in game number 2. But as we said, a much closer match in this one, and I want to tip my caps to the NIU players. This is exactly the improvement that we wanted to see game upon game. This is very, very close, and this is a team that can take those, those schools with similar ranks to them, maybe even above the rank. Like Western Michigan here was just above their ranks, kind of across the board, and they were able to take them, to the wire. So I want to keep that in mind across the board. NIU playing very well, just unfortunate to not be able to find it in the end. A bit of a heartbreaker if you're a Husky fan. And so it will, GG's out to Western Michigan. They do take the series 2-0. But NIU putting on a heck of a show, almost grabbing that game number 2 and forcing a game 3 for us. So that'll be it for tonight. As you know, with losses, we try not to get a player interview, but hopefully we'll be able to get our first player interview with a win on Saturday. We'll hopefully grab somebody from the team to be able to get an interview if they're able to grab that victory. As I mentioned, on Saturday, we'll be seeing NIU versus Kent State. That one will be at 2 o'clock on Saturday. And then and then Overwatch will be playing against the... I had that up, but let me check it once again. It's going to be Central Michigan on Tuesday at 7 p.m. right here on the channel. You can find all of this information. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. We appreciate you guys and your support as we go through the broadcast. Unfortunate on the outcome, not what we were hoping for, but definitely a start to the season that NIU can build off of. Despite the 2 losses, definitely closer than 0-4 would have you suggest. But definitely things to work on, and NIU looking to bounce back on Saturday. So thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you during the weekend, and until then, go Huskies, and we'll see you soon. Thank you so much. Good night.
I can't take it anymore. My mind's about to go to war. I need someone to save me from myself, to hear me cry when I call out for help. I blame it on the voices that are in my head, wondering if they'll ever be put to bed. Feels like I am close to reaching my wit's end, holding out, but I'm about to blow it up like a volcano. Like a volcano. Blow it up like a volcano. What you do, what you do, what you do to me? Can't you see what it means when you set me free? What you do, what you do, what you do to me? Can't you see what it means when you set me free? Another day to lose control. There's a fire in my bones. My sight gets blurry, pushing back the tears. Should take a leap of faith and face my fear. I blame it on the voices that are in my head, wondering